Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's one woman's opinion. I am your host, Carolyn Mills. If you're watching this on video and see me laughing right now, it's because I just was noticing my tooth. So those that you've noticed the tooth, what happened is I actually have dentures, and I was off my allergy meds so I could get tested this week. I got tested today, but the allergies got really bad, and I sneezed really hard and literally blew them out of my mouth, and it broke. And unfortunately, I don't have the ability to get it fixed, so I kind of have a David Letterman gap going on now. It's all good. Anyway, today we're looking at Cheers season 2, episode 3, personal business. And let me go ahead and show you those of you who are visually watching my shirt. It is set for season 2. Personal business first aired on October 30th, 1983. It was directed by James Burrows and written by Glenn Charles, Les Charles, James Burrows, and Tom Reeder. The guest cast includes Tony Brafa as Mr. Anderson, number 1. Brafa died in 1993 from an undisclosed cause. And James Ingersoll as Mr. Anderson, number 2, and Patrick Stack as customer number 1. Cheers is filmed in front of a live studio audience, was said by John Ratzenberger for this episode. Let's hop into our summary. In the cold open, Coach gets off the phone and announces a table is ready for the Anderson party. However, there are 2 Anderson parties. He calls back again to get clarification. He gets off the phone and explains he made a mistake. The table is not for the Andersons, but for the Blubberbutts. That today that would definitely not go well, calling somebody a blubberbutt. But actually I thought about this, and the fact that Coach does not know he's insulting them works really well because it's almost like it's not an insult, even though it is. It's kind of weird, but Coach doesn't know it is. He thinks that's their actual name. The bigger Anderson couple goes upstairs looking annoyed, where everybody knows your name plays. Diane is talking to a couple about famous authors who drank themselves to death. Carla tells Sam Diane's mouth sprung a leak again. Another table asks Carla to get their waitress. Carla pulls Diane by the face to the table. Diane tells her never to do that again, and then asks her for a favor. She asks her to switch schedules so she could have next Tuesday off, but Carla refuses. Diane says they should ask Sam. Carla says that she'd rather flip a coin because at least that would be fair. Sam asks her what she means, and Carla explains that since Sam and Diane became a couple, Sam lets Diane get away with everything. Which I found that interesting because Sam pretty much throughout the series really has no control over his employees. They come and go as they want. You remember in season 1, I believe the 3rd episode, Carl attacks Big Eddie and she gets the help, but she really doesn't get in trouble. Sam is upset. I mean, it's not just Diane because they're dating. Everyone basically runs over Sam. Sam gets put between the two. No matter who he sides with, someone is going to get upset. He asks, does anybody want to buy a bar? Diane says Carla doesn't need to switch and says she has made an important decision. Norm enters. He is down and explains that he and Vera have separated. Nora says Vera says they don't communicate. Sam and the others encourage him to go out and find another woman. Norm says, stand back, I'm on the prowl. And then he walks around the bar and sits down again. He says, they know where to find me. Diane hands Sam her resignation, and she wrote part of it in French. Sam tells her, first of all, nobody resigns from a bar. Second of all, nobody resigns in Latin. Cliff corrects him, explaining that it's French. Coach asks Cliff what the French part meant, but Cliff tells him it's an idiomatic expression. It cannot be translated. Then Diane tells him it means one must cultivate one's own garden. Cliff says she took a little bit of liberty there. Sam asks Diane if this is because she took Carla's side earlier. And again, this line makes no sense. Because at first he actually says to Carla, "Why don't you switch with her?" And then when Carla complains, he then suggests maybe Diane should just work the time. And then he doesn't know what to do, so he's not taking any sides. And he says, "Does anybody want to buy the bar?" So technically, he didn't really take Carla's side. He tried to take each person's side, and then kind of got out of it. But Diane says that was a symptom of the fact that was working together is making them miserable. Coach suggests a party to send Diane off. Carla is crying. Cliff asks her what's wrong. She tells him about her hard life. Then she says, "But this makes up for all of that. I am the happiest woman alive." It's kind of nice to see this moment between Cliff and Carla, since Carla's always so mean to Cliff, and now she's talking to him about. And Grant's kind of weird, but it's still a bit sensitive for Carla. So it's kind of nice to see that little moment. I was also thinking though, Carla's dislike of Cliff grows as the seasons go on. Sam tells Diane it's a mistake. Carla, however, supports her, telling her she will make it. Diane says she's leaving Cheers for both of them, meaning meaning Sam and Diane, not Carla and Diane. 2 weeks have passed, which in TV world means there was a commercial break. Diane reports she found a job as proofreader. Cliff asks Norm how Diane found a job in only 2 weeks, yet Norm has been looking for months and is still unemployed. Carla says she was skeptical about Diane finding a job, but she says it won't kill her to say congratulations. Diane thanks her and Carla pretends to fall down dead. Sam tells her to get up. Sam asks her when she starts the job, but Diane doesn't know because she needs references from Sam to officially get the job. And there's the funny thing here where Carla realizes that Diane does not actually officially have the job, and she's like all upset because she said something. Sorry, she said congratulations. Quick drink here. Throat was drying out. Coach asked Norm how he and Vera met. Norm says they were high school sweethearts together in the Midwest. George Wendt himself actually comes from Chicago in the Midwest. So I think that's why his character is from the Midwest. I'm not sure where his wife was from. So I'm curious if that maybe I should have looked that up beforehand. I didn't think about it. But there's maybe that she also is from Chicago. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. Cliff tells him to give her a call. When he does, he finds out she has a date. Norm is hurt, but then he says he has a date too. Carla pretends to be his date, talking seductively on the phone. Norm thanks Carla, then asks her to get coffee, to which Carla replies, "Get real." The phone rings. Coach answers it. It's Diane's new boss, Hedges. Coach thinks it's someone who owes him money and starts yelling at the man on the phone. Diane rushes to the office to get Sam. Sam tells the man he fully recommends Diane for the job. Then he says, "I don't think I want to answer that question." But Diane keeps insisting. So he finally replies, "Yeah, I've seen her naked." Diane takes the phone and tells Hedges off. Then she reconsiders when she hears the amount of money he is offering. Diane seems to be easily bought by things. If you remember in the Boston Barmaid contest, she says she sold out womankind for a trip to the Bahamas. So something she really excited and she forgot why she was upset. Here, this man's saying dirty things about her, and she's angry until she's gonna get more money, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, that's okay." However, this time she quickly comes to her senses and turns the job down. Diane is disgusted with men. Sam talks her into returning to Cheers to work. Carla bangs her head on the bar because she thought she was getting rid of her. Sam suggests he and Diane go to his apartment to celebrate, and he goes and gets his coat. Diane follows and questions why he hired her, and he says, You're the best combination girlfriend and waitress, and you stink as a waitress. Diane says that Sam is not any different than Hedges. Sam says it's different because Diane is nuts about him, but she says maybe in time she would feel the same way about Hedges. Sorry, throat's dry again. About Hedges is what I was trying to say. Sam says that women act like they are the only victims. He claims Diane wanted to work at Cheers because she had the hots for him. He says she had sex on the brain, but Diane tells him that's not true. Not entirely true. Diane says there's only one thing to do. Sam tells her, I know. I'll undress and do my duty. Ted Danson delivered that line perfectly. Um, really great line that he delivered right there, where he acts like, he's being forced to have sex and, Sam. Diane suggests they abstain from any sexual contact for a period of 1 month so that they can regain their self-respect. Sam agrees but says his self-respect will bounce back in only 2 weeks, maybe even 1 week. Diane says she only needs a day. Sam says an hour is good enough for him. Diane says 15 minutes will do, and then they rush out of the bar to get to Sam's apartment, which is about 15 minutes away. Excuse me. And that's basically the episode. I gave this episode 3.5 out of 5 stars. I actually liked it a little bit more than the previous time that I had watched it, where I only gave it 2.5. It's still not a favorite episode, but it was pretty good. I laughed more than I did before. But at times it felt redundant to me, so not definitely not a favorite. For MVP, I had to give it to Rhea Perlman this time. Her whole congratulating Diane and then collapsing because she realized it was going to kill her. The banging on the bar, her head on the bar, the whole pulling Diane by her face. She has some really good bits here, so I really liked that. For best dress, I did Diane Chambers, and I really need to start writing down what these people are wearing when I give them this award because I don't remember, but I gave her the best dress. Grand Slam line. Sam, Carla, I told you before, keep your hands off Diane. Carla, I will if you will. The on baseline. Coach says, Diane, you can't just leave like that. I mean, you should have a party, Some booze, a lot of pretzels, some munchies, a lot of people together. Norm tells him, Coach, you mean like this? Coach says, Well, I guess this is goodbye. Here's a little known fact. The credits listing the two Mr. Andersons from the cold open actually list them as Mrs. Andersons, 1 and 2. Mr. Anderson, 1 and 2. So, short episode, not a favorite. But if you like this episode, please follow us on, please join the Facebook group. Cheers, that's One Woman's Opinion. You can follow us on Instagram at Cheers, One Woman's Opinion Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at One Woman's Opinion. And as always, you can email us with questions, comments, etc. at Cheers, One Woman's Opinion Podcast at gmail.com. So next week, I'm hoping I may have to push this out a little bit farther, depending how it goes. But next episode will be Cheers Season 2, Episode 4, Homicidal Ham. Andy is back. And exciting news, Derek McGrath, who played Andy, also known as Andy Schroeder, has agreed to do an interview with me, which is why I'm not sure if it'll be next week or the week after, because I'm going to see his publicist is talking with him now, but we're going to try see if he can watch the episode again and do that with me with the interview. If you have questions for Mr. McGrath, of course, feel free to email me, comment. Probably best to email me. At the cheers at one woman's opinion podcast.com at gmail.com. Sorry. But I'm excited about that. And once I know when it's going to be, I can let you guys know for sure. And that's one woman's opinion.